Welcome to the Cuppa Tea Series. I am going to share with you something that I've been thinking about because I had someone say to me, music therapy doesn't work with autistic children. Well, I got a bit triggered by this because I'll have to tell all my autistic children that I don't matter to them all of a sudden because I know that it works. I know that music works with autistic children that love music. If that's their currency, that's their currency. And music is amazing for your brain. So, I would just like to explain something. I am not a music therapist. Very proudly so. I am a musician and my music is therapeutic. So what does this mean? Well, I'll tell you some examples. I recorded an album for the Tutti Ensemble, a 100-piece gospel choir that is based in Adelaide. I made a gospel album with them. And music is the food that keeps them going. It's absolutely essential for all the people that are in that choir. Now, there were people in iron lungs. There were Down syndrome people. There was, 75-year-old to 7-year-old. It was the most inclusive and amazing group of people brought together for the one act of singing, and the happiness that music brought into their lives was not nothing. Let me just say, it is not nothing. I was a part of the Tutti, not just the Tutti Ensemble, I was part of the Spark Festival, which was run by some wonderful friends of mine up in the Sunshine Coast. And we had over 300 people down around Wollongong, it was, at Three Tops, I think it was called, and beautiful spot. And I had people there that hadn't spoken, they were verbally silent for 25 years. And I started singing gospel with them, and their carers were turning to me saying, I've never heard him speak. He's been verbally silent. And she'd been looking after him for 25 years. And music was what brought him out. He was able to speak through music. And another thing I'd like to say is that I also ran I was the voice part of the deaf choir, Talking Hands, Flapping Gums. It's a deaf choir that was programmed in the Woodford Folk Festival, and we would teach people how to sing in sign language. So disabilities is a really big veranda, okay? And so you can put someone who's a 75-year-old Down syndrome in with someone who's lost their limb, a 13-year-old who's just got no arm, you know what I mean? So we say disabilities, but it is a very, very broad veranda. And my personal experience is I had a near-death experience in 2011. I lost my speech. I lost my ability to write. I had a brain injury, and music was a very big part of my recovery. I had a miracle. I met God, and I was singing and playing ukulele and piano every day. I played music, and my brain has rewired. Now, this comment that was on the line said, there's no evidence that it makes any difference for autism. I have to disagree. I have autistic children that I sing with weekly, twice a week, some of them, and the benefits are enormous. See, music is a whole brain experience. It goes across the corpus callosum into the whole brain. And one little girl who hadn't spoken her entire life, we did an intensive online Zoom music lesson with her. She started saying words from her own volition. She'd never done that before. She could parrot. You could say to her to say something and she would parrot, but she actually started to say words from her own volition. That's huge. And so I'd just like to encourage anyone out there who's, got a child that's got autism, or someone autistic or disabled in their lives, or sing, don't scream. Like, honestly, singing works. Singing goes into your whole brain. My mother had Alzheimer's. She didn't recognise me for years and years. And I was sitting down with her one day, and on the screen came on this song. Natalie Cole and Nat King Cole were singing, "Unforgettable, that's what you are, and forevermore, though near or far. That's why, darling, it's incredible. Someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too." Now, my mother had Alzheimer's. She didn't recognise me. And the nurse said to her, "Who's this, Mary?" pointing to me. "Who's this, Mary?" And she said, "That's my daughter, the singer." Now, I know that it was music and that song that opened up pathways in her brain so she could even recognise me. So don't discount what music will do to you, to your family, to your children. I have had people with children that will not put their shoes on. I was out Western Queensland doing some seminars, and this woman said, "Oh, music, how would I apply it to my children? They won't even put their shoes on." I said, "Oh, that's easy. Time to put your shoes on. It's time to put your shoes on. It's time to put your shoes on. We're going out." This kid suddenly got up and went and put her shoes on. And I said, "Oh, who's that?" She goes, "That's my child." So it works. Music works. It goes across the corpus callosum, goes into the whole brain. And I dare you. Why don't you sing? Why don't you sing your kids if you're having trouble getting them in the shower? It's time for a shower now. It's time for a shower now. Using rhythm, pitch, tone. Use a familiar melody. Sing your kids into their transitions. Sing your family into different areas of your life. So when I come into a family and I sing songs for the child, I want to train the parents too. I want to train them to sing instead of screaming. So I hope that this has encouraged you and helped you think about what you do and what I do differently. So if you're interested in doing some music lessons, I do daily music lessons online on Zoom. You're welcome to join us. And I hope you use this idea of singing and using music therapeutically. We don't all have to be music therapists. We can use music therapeutically. All right. See ya. Bye.